Alright, I finally started looking into completing the open world parts of the game and have started with Fortuna. Now, me being a moron, I didn't quite realise that farming toroids was the last thing I'd actually have to do in Fortuna, but I've done it anyway. So today I'm going to show you how you can farm the 3 basic toroids in-game. So firstly, the reason I'm not looking at all of the toroids is 2 of them require you to have at least the heist system unlocked, which requires rank 5 of you to go, and I'm far from there. So I'll be looking at the Vega, Calder and Solar toroids, as these are the easy ones to farm for Vox Solaris standing. Starting with the farming locations, you can get Vega toroids from the spaceport, Calder toroids from the enrichment labs, and Solar toroids from the Temple of Prophet. These are all underground locations, and as long as you walk in through the first few doors, the enemies will all have a 2% chance of dropping the toroid. Each of these toroids are worth 1,000 Vox Solaris standing each. Now, you might be thinking, 2% is very low. And yeah, you're right, it is. But using farming frames like Coro, Necros and Hydroid makes the process much quicker than you'd think. In about 30 minutes, I can average about 50 toroids with just a Coro and a Necros. In the footage you'll see 2 other players, but they're not using loot frames, so the drop rates are purely from the Necros and I. Now let's look at the spawn mechanics. When in free roam, enemies will place down reinforcement beacons. When you get to any of the 3 locations mentioned earlier, you're going to need to get the enemies inside to start placing down beacons, so that you'll have an endless wave of enemies trying to kill you. One thing you will need to be prepared for is the enemy level scaling, which is why I only stay for half an hour at a time. In this time frame, you'll be dealing with roughly level 80 Corpus and Eximus, so you'll definitely need to mod your frames for some survivability and your weapons to target the Corpus. When you have started getting enemies to spawn, find an open area and start casting your abilities to increase the drop chance. From here, all you need to do is start killing everything in sight, but just be careful not to destroy the beacons. The gun I like to use is my Kuva Nucor, as it melts to Corpus and won't deal any AoE damage, which stops me from destroying the beacons. You can easily farm toroids solo and still come out with enough in a reasonable amount of time to max out your standing, but it is much easier as a team. If you want to get a team together to farm toroids efficiently, you should bring a Cora with the Pilfering Strangledome augment, Necros with a Desecrate build, Hydroid with a Pilfering Swarm build, and a Wisp built purely for her first ability. Now, that's basically it for farming toroids. Hopefully that was handy and gave you an insight to what you'll need to do. If you found it useful, consider subscribing and sticking around for future content. That's it from me for now. Goodbye.